rehearsal for Joan Wallace and the Martys. Joan has her first CD out. It's called Don't Mess with the Blues. That's today on Go Island. Today on Go, growing wasabi on Vancouver Island, a Crime Stoppers reenactment at Nanaimo's Georgia Park, and a road trip to the BC Sports Hall of Fame. That and more today on Go. It's always great working with musicians on Go Island. Those are the Martys. Their lead singer, Joan Wallace, has her own CD coming out. There's a big CD party taking place this Friday, March the 15th. We're going to tell you all about that later on this edition of Go Island. It's the first and only commercial scale production of its kind. Rayanne LaPlante is going to tell us now why we are growing wasabi here on Vancouver Island. You probably know that wasabi is very spicy. Did you also know that it's very, very expensive? It's true. You're watching Go Island on Shaw TV, Channel 4. I'm Kate Bergen. This is Joan Wallace. I had the pleasure of hearing her sing at the Driftwood Bistro a few months back. That venue, unfortunately, is now closed. And when I was listening to you, Joan, I had no idea that you had come from Winnipeg and have a history with CBC.
Yes, that's where I started singing. I did radio and TV with CBC there and sang with local bands. And when I moved to Nanaimo, at that time, there were quite a few jazz venues. I sang at places like the Dorchester Hotel and Pagliacci's Restaurant. So now musicians have to get a little bit more creative, I think, with finding gigs. And I feel very blessed to have found a wonderful group to sing with called the Martys. And we've been very creative in finding some really special gigs for ourselves.
So the venues have been changing, not as many a few years back as there are today. What about the audiences? Are they still coming out in big numbers, or is that dwindling too?
But I think with the economy, people think twice before they go out as often as they used to. They have the price of the meal to pay for and the drinks and so on, so they kind of think about it before they do have a special night out. So everything has affected the way musicians find work now.
Okay, and you guys are doing it, the Martys and Joan Wallace. Joan has a CD coming out. It's out. Here it is. It's called Don't Mess with the Blues. Now, you heard her mention jazz, so we're going to talk later on this edition of Go Island about the blending of jazz and blues that you're going to hear on her CD, and there's a big release party coming up on Friday, March the 15th. We're throwing things over now to another Crime Stoppers reenactment, our latest one. There was a robbery of cash and jewelry from a couple in Georgia Park recently. The wedding ring that was stolen during that circumstance was actually custom made, and you will find a photograph on it on the Shaw TV Central Vancouver Island's Facebook page. You're watching Go Island on Shaw TV Channel 4, and today we're visiting with Joan Wallace and the Martys. Joan has a CD out now. It's called Don't Mess with the Blues. There's a CD release party on Friday, March the 15th at the Harewood Legion, and you can get more information through the websites that you see on your screen now. We'll be back with more on Go Island after a short break. Still ahead today on Go Island, Darren's story, life and recovery from a brain injury, and a road trip to the BC Sports Hall of Fame. That and more still ahead on Go. You're watching Go Island on Shaw TV Channel 4, and we're in a rehearsal garage where Joan Wallace and the Martys rehearse. They try once a week. We're here on a Monday afternoon. You have a new CD out, and it's called Don't Mess with the Blues, but you're known for jazz.
Right. Well, here's how I would describe the CD. Imagine it's a rainy night, and you're sitting in a dimly lit jazz club listening to mellow jazz. That's pretty much the ambiance of it. It has a real retro feel. The songs are all original, and they're written by a musician friend of mine from Winnipeg named Barry Dunford. He's a brilliant lyricist and songwriter, and the songs kind of tell a special story. Each song is a story. They talk about love, and they talk about life and the ups and downs of relationships. So I get to do really interesting things. There's a lot of humor in the songs. On one song, I get to be a French nightclub chanteuse in a song called Don't Walk Away, Monsieur. And in another song, I get to kick up my heels in a really big New Orleans blues song called Traveling Woman Blues. So I do have a lot of fun on this CD.
Why did it take you so long to put out a CD?
Well, it's a matter of finding the right songs. Most people just do cover songs, but when I had the opportunity, this songwriter friend gave me 11 gorgeous songs, and I thought, wow, I'm going to record these because they're so special.
Did he have you in mind when he was writing them, do you think?
Well, I think he did on a few of them. Yeah, a few of them actually we performed way back in the day. He was in my first band called Easy Street in Winnipeg. And so a few of the songs came from way back then, but lately he has been starting to write some beautiful jazz songs, and so this is the product of his songwriting.
Oh baby, that's when you find you lose peace of mind and your sunshine will change to showers.
The one time that I've seen you perform, Joan, it's about the performance and the sound, but you have an energy that kind of brings... I felt like I was sitting in on a house party, or that I was there as a friend of yours, and you
my
really,
goodness.
so you're doing something to engage the audience and really take them
That's
with you.
what we're hoping to do at our CD release party, and we chose a Legion because we want it to be laid back, comfortable, and it has a dance floor, and we're hoping that people will get up and dance and just enjoy it, like you say, as if it was at home and you were just with friends.
Good. Looks like it's going to be a fun night. That's March 15th at the Harewood Legion. Joan Wallace and the Martys celebrating the release of Don't Mess with the Blues, Joan Wallace's first full solo CD. It can be life-changing, a brain injury, and for young people on the South Vancouver Island who are living with a brain injury, there aren't a lot of places that they can go to connect with other people who have had similar experiences and are going through similar challenges. Nikki Iwanishin now has the story of a young man who is trying to change all of that. You are watching Go Island on Shaw TV Channel 4, and we are experiencing Joan Wallace and the Martys in preview of the upcoming CD release party. It's Friday, March the 15th at the Harewood Legion, and we haven't even told you yet that it's free. It's absolutely true. So if you're looking for a party on Friday night and to experience Joan Wallace and the Martys up close, personal, firsthand, Friday night is a great opportunity to do that. We're going to throw things over now to Dunya Tosi. BC, of course, is known for its natural beauty and rich cultural history, but it also has strong roots in sporting history. Our next road trip takes us to the BC Sports Hall of Fame. You are watching Go Island on Shaw TV Channel 4. We've learned a little bit about the musical career of Joan Wallace, who's releasing her first CD on Friday officially. But the Martys, who are these guys you're hanging around with?
The Martys are a wonderful group formed by Marty Howe, who plays flute and harmonica. And then there's Marty Steele on piano and key bass, which is a pretty unusual combination nowadays. And then there's James Smarty McRae on drums.
And you say a giggle. You have a giggle when you say that.
Yes, because he is a smarty pants.
Okay.
Okay.
As if Marty Steele isn't? No,
right. So I've been with the guys for about a year and a half, and we did places like the Driftwood Bistro and the Front Street Grill when it was open, the first incarnation of the Front Street Grill. And we do festivals in summer like the Marine Festival, VIX, and the Chemainus Jazz Festival. And we have a lot of fun. So we do it all. We do jazz, we do blues, we do Marty's originals, we do our own versions of pop standards. And I love singing with them because of the diversity of the material, and they are fun to be with.
And very capable of getting that sort of blend of jazz blues that you're wanting for.
Exactly.
Could any musician sort of step in and do that, or do these guys have some special
all
skill?
Extremely accomplished in what they do with their instruments. So.
If you were a bird way up in a tree, would you be heard by the others you'd see? Would it be absurd to think you're singing for me alone? After the rapturous song you'd intone, would you attach your heart to my own? If I were to capture fencer and seek and throw. Or take a flyer, I'll go perch on a wire, or simply fly high. Anyone else could go. Is it just a game? Is it all a charade? With all of your colorful plumage displayed, should I be enraptured or simply dismayed to be the one to fall for the beautiful bird in the tree?
That brings us to the end of this edition of Go Island. Of course, you can catch the CD release party, Joan Wallace and the Martys. Don't Mess with the Blues on Friday, March 15th at the Harewood Legion. It is a free concert, and they've given me a little list of other upcoming performances that they have in the next couple of weeks. Crofton Jazz in the afternoon at the Crofton Pub and Hotel. That's on Sunday, March the 17th, 2 to 5 p.m. The Vault Troubadour series continues, and you can catch Joan Wallace on the Martys March 22nd from 6 until 9. And then finally, Charles Landing in Port Alberni. There's a concert on May the 10th. That's a Friday, showtime 8 p.m. That's a whole lot of information, and the best thing to do is visit their website, themartys.ca. That is the end of this edition of Go Island. Without further ado, one more time, ladies and gentlemen, here's Joan Wallace and the Martys.
You might have new shoes, you might have good news, or maybe your ship just came in. But if you don't want to lose, don't mess with the blues. When you get the blues, you just can't win. You think you're alright till you get home at night. There's no one there to help fill the hours. Oh baby, that's when you find you lose peace of mind, and your sunshine will change the showers. Once in a while you will wear a smile, pretending you just don't care. But then when you're down and no one's around, you'll find that you've just been there. Now, you may need a friend, but let's not pretend you're too cool to ever feel the pain. 'Cause when you're out in the cold, the blues take a hold. They'll ride you till you go insane.